Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1971's Tijuana Blue, and this is part of the Peakorama Big 2-unit show put out by Vinegar Syndrome with the film Harlot, which I've already looked at on this YouTube page. You can check out that video. Both directed by Howard Ziem. And for our purposes tonight, we are looking at Tijuana Blue right there, folks. Tijuana Blue is 1971. Harlot was 1970. And I did see a couple connections here. I saw a couple locations I believe might have been the same. This beach location with some rocky cliffs nearby. So there seemed to be a couple, and possibly some other locations as well. Although Tijuana Blue obviously seems to be filmed in Tijuana, and so let's get into this film here, folks. This is 92 minutes long in 1971. Here are a couple photos for just this film here. And we are looking at Tijuana Blue. It says here rated XXX, hardcore Tijuana action. It also says a Harry Hopper explicit action film, an Apple I production, adults only. You won't believe it. And look really carefully here. You can see a little eyeball right there. Really interesting. So let's get into this movie here, folks. This is quite an interesting one. And if you know my video for Harlot, this Howard Ziem director definitely has a unique style, and he even does a commentary on Harlot on this DVD. How special is that? So let's get into this film. I have some notes here, so you'll see my eyes divert, and that's the reason why. Tijuana Blue. You know, Tijuana always has this connotation of being a real party place, a real party area, and this film capitalizes on that with some unique twists as you enter into this world with two lead characters. Now, for the majority of this film, we do have Spanish guitar work, Spanish guitar playing, and it is something, obviously, with the title of the film, and it ebbs and flows throughout most of the body of the film. Sometimes it will kind of end, and you'll hear some silence. You'll hear some natural sounds. And then the guitar work will come back again. And so you'll have this Spanish guitar. We have some interesting mirror bedroom shots in the beginning of this film before we really enter into Tijuana. We're in the California area, I believe. And this couple is having sex in their bedroom, and we have kind of a couple mirrors in there, and kind of starting with a mirror shot. Now, this director, Howard Ziem, I already knew had some unique angles, which are also shown in this film, from seeing his film Harlot. And so I already kind of knew and was prepared for some unique angles. And here we had some mirror shots that were very interesting. It was almost at times when there were some other mirror shots in this film as well later on, it was almost played in a way that the mirrors were being utilized to get alternate angles. Whereas you look at directors like Jess Franco, and even the genre of sexploitation, when mirrors are utilized, it's not always necessarily that. But here it almost seems like we're trying to encompass all different sides of the sex scene. The first sex scene we have in this film is between, I don't know if they're married, but definitely a very close couple. And the sex is, while it has, you know, dirty talk, it's also very loving, and there's conversation in it. And they really, really love each other, as you can definitely sense there. We have a unique shot of a woman's butt in her white panties in this scene. We also are sensing some close angles, some close shot work in this film, which is also done in Harlot. But Howard Ziem seems to be a director who is not only getting some very close shots in the sex scenes, he's also getting some shots from a distance, getting you know, all the people involved. So he gets all different angles, all different shots. So we do have, you know, close oral sex in this film, close blowjobs. And a very interesting conversation and connection for the first sex scene of this film, involving drugs and sex and their connection with each other, and can they replace each other, and should one come before the other, or should they be simultaneous? A very interesting conversation erupting there. We also have throughout the film some talking of the characters under the music. You can barely hear the talking. It's very interesting, and it seems intentional. If you are a fan of, you know, women's butts, women's feet, you're going to love this film. There's lots of great foot shots, lots of great butt shots in this film. And we have a really great quote from the lead male character of the movie. He, upon finding out that his girlfriend is pregnant, he says, quote, "You dumb cunt," end quote. Wow. And as a matter of fact, this is a film that utilizes the word cunt a lot. And you know, it's so interesting, because when you look at the X-rated genre, it's like, you know, really, you can say anything goes. And if this is a rating, if you have a rating for your film that's the highest possible rating, then the sky's the limit. And this is a film that really treats that sky's the limit with the spoken language also. And cunt is used in that way of a derogatory term, and then it's also used as in like dirty talk and sexual language throughout this film. We also have other pieces of Spanish music in this movie involving kind of sung Spanish music, singing. We have that in here as well. Almost some kind of traditional sounding Spanish music. It's definitely not modern sounding Spanish pop music. And this is a film of locations. We are going to go to a variety of locations in this film. We're going to, upon entering into Tijuana, we are going to enter into one of the sleaziest clubs I've ever seen. If this is real, not sure. It's a bar, it's a club where the dancers can actually have sex with the patrons and mix and match and go from one guy to another if you give them $2. And it is the sleaziest club I've ever seen. It's wild, it's insane. It's just dirty, dingy, sleazy, red lights and blue lights, which will also echo itself throughout the film in other locations. In this club, we also have some 60s sounding rock, including, I believe, the song Louie Louie. And I don't know how that flies with copyright, especially with the X-rated genre, but even with it being distributed. But yes, I believe Louie Louie is in here. So that's pretty impressive. We also have this amazing camaraderie between the two lead guys. Well, we have the one lead guy, and he's taking the trip to Tijuana, and so he decides to take his friend with him for, I think he said, some kind of protection. My gosh, it couldn't be, it's nothing of the sort, okay? The camaraderie between these two guys, the relationship between these two guys is so interesting and hilarious and weird. The guy's friend, who wears this, there's like a topic of his hat bothering his friend. His hat is weird, and it's like a visor, but he is so kind of seemingly younger. Kind of has a very young vibe, the way a kid would be like, more, do that. And he has this vibe throughout the film, and the way he annoys his friend, who's much quieter, he's much more focused on his mission and his business, on why he's in Tijuana, whereas his friend is just this, just sexually childlike in a way, or like immature, like a teenager. And he's so verbal. He's constantly giving people sexual instructions, even other people that are having sex, like in the sleazy club. He's constantly telling people what to do, how to do it, and it's weird and it's hilarious, and he's kind of constantly trying to lead his friend astray from his main mission in Tijuana. Now, The film has a very documentary like vibe to it. It's filled with sex scenes in the film. That is the majority of the film, and the sex is the substance for the film. And we have very little dialogue, but the dialogue that we do have at times gets reverbed and repeated in someone's head, like at the beginning of the film, that moves the journey into Tijuana. And then we also have his friend, who is repeating things as well and barking out these sexual orders that are hilarious. But they're also moving around Tijuana and the side streets and the dilapidated locations. And you see children in the streets and naked, babies in the streets, and the locations seem very, very real. And there's a level of poverty, and there's a level of sleaze. They go on the street and they get pictures with a donkey. And there is a crime adventure element to the storyline as well, for the reason why they're going to Tijuana. And it's interesting. It has a kind of a mystery vibe as well. The crime is mysterious. The orders are mysterious. The people are mysterious. I looked at a film in this YouTube page called The Night Before with Keanu Reeves and Lori Loughlin, and this, in a way, in pieces, just in pieces, in the crime mystery, is an X-rated version of that. And it reminds me of finding one person to the next person to the next person to the next person, and going to different locations as a result. We also go to a hotel. With two women doing some very sleazy and dirty type, just grimy. Everything is grimy. Everything is very real in this film. And look for like white stuff everywhere. And I don't mean that, but you'll see what I mean. And these two women, basically, we're led to preverts, the element of perverts, preverts throughout the film is a theme as well, that Tijuana is just filled with them, or the locations are just filled with them. And pay attention to that, because it deals with a twist at the end of the movie that is bizarre and funny at the same time. And there are prostitutes everywhere. Every location has prostitutes. And we have this one girl at the hotel constantly saying, quote, "Shut up, gringo." We next go to a whorehouse with 3 girls, and so we have multiple girls with the 2 guys. And this location seems to really break down the guys. And we also have nymphomaniac prostitutes in this particular location. And typically when you need information like Leslie Nielsen and Naked Gun, you need to pay somebody for that information. In this film, you need to have sex with them and pay for the sex to get information. Very, very interesting. We also go, we have a great shot, an excellent shot, I believe, in the whorehouse, of a butt in the foreground, and then 2 people having sex in the background. It's an awesome shot, especially if you love butts. But it's a butt in the foreground and 2 people having sex in the background. And this director really has lots of different angles. Yes, you're going to get very, very close-up shots of oral in particular, and intercourse as well, everything. But you also get distance shots, and you get those distance shots, and you get the close shots, all at different angles. And the way he utilizes bodies, and particular the butts, and the way he utilizes different bodies all in the same frame, utilizing the foreground, the background. He's also doing things with focus, sometimes focus fades. Very, very interesting. We also wind up at the beach, which might be the same beach for his film Harlot that I talked about. We have rock climbing in here. Yes, rock climbing. And we have another amazing shot on the beach, a shot through somebody's legs, and you're not, the mysterious person, you're not sure who they are yet. And it's not a sexual shot through legs, it's actually a shot through legs that brings tension. And you're looking through the shot of the legs, and 2 people start to approach the person whom you are underneath. Then something dumbfounding happens here, folks. I mean, unbelievable, involving lifesavers on a string. I don't want to give it away. It is dumbfoundingly crazy. There's this this crime character throughout the film who has an embroidered cane as well. That almost reminded me at times of Lon Chaney and the Wolfman, his cane, but it's not a wolf on the cane, but it's an embroidered cane, and a blow up raft linking to the twist ending. Yes, I mean, crazy wild stuff here. Basically from one sexual encounter to the next. And the sex is documentary, like in Tijuana Blue. The sex is amateur and real, and it's of the grimier, realistic, dirty variety in the X-rated genre, and you'll know what I mean. It just has a very real vibe to it, and I believe, you know, we're actually in Tijuana, and the people are actually Latino, and you know, in the film that they are meeting. So this is a wild one here, folks, and we even have themes of abortion and things like that as well. So, and pregnancy, as I mentioned, and love. Here it is, folks. Tijuana Blue, 1971, 1 year after Harlot. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Tijuana Blue. Thank you so much, and good night.